Good morning, everybody. It's November 15th, Monday morning, about 10 a.m. Today we're going to talk about television. I am. Any news or other media. I'm just going to bring up, before we talk about concerns, I've read this week that General Electric is breaking up into 3 companies. And the reason I mention that is that we talked about Thomas Edison as founding General Electric. In our last class, we talked about the establishment of power stations, how that was really taken out of Thomas Edison's hands because direct current did not win the current war. Alternating current did with Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse. But Thomas Edison's company was General Electric, and you now know that Edison was very involved in the beginnings of film, movies, and very involved, although we didn't really get into it much because we haven't talked about recordings of music, but he was also very involved in the first recordings of sound. And the General Electric was the company that all these things got folded into. It's been a very big and successful company over the years into lots of businesses. Yes, making all kinds of appliances, microwaves, refrigerators, dishwashers, stoves, etc. But also making jet engines and a lot of other things. It's now breaking into 3 parts. I don't know all the details about it, but I think it's interesting. It's interesting, first, that the company's still around, and 2, that it's going through some changes. So maybe we'll revisit the media news a little bit later to see if we've got anything more on that score. So make sure any questions or concerns you have about the class that you included in your 3 things, 1, 2, or 3 things muddy. Have as many muddies as you want. So we're going to do a little class involvement here, student involvement. I want you to take a few minutes and take out a pencil or whatever you like to write with and a piece of paper and write these things down. What's your favorite TV show right now? Where in the house? And when do you watch it? What do you watch on? What device? What was your favorite show 5 years ago? Where and when did you watch that show? What is Gibby doing now? Write all those things down. Take a few minutes. Stop the presentation here and just go through that thought process. And then when you're done, keep going. Okay. This is really a bad slide. Hold on. Just because I see I have some text down here, but I did not do anything to make it pop. So let's try that. Okay. Oops. Okay. Television is defined as a piece of hardware that stays stationary, mostly in homes, can deliver the biggest, best impression, best picture, and best sound of any device that you own yourself. That's television as we think of it. When we talk about video, then I think we go to some other devices. So I'm talking about television as kind of the monster of all media. It is. It's the biggest in terms of ad dollars. It's the biggest in terms of time spent watching it, time spent with it. It has the most impact when we think of it as a medium. It's got sight, sound, and motion. It tells a narrative story. It's a funny creature. It's somewhere between movies and radio. Okay, it's broadcast, but it's a visual and sound like radio. It's a visual and sound like a movie. The content varies quite a bit from just movies and films. It does show movies and films, but it shows news and sitcoms like radio did. So it's a real hybrid I think, really, of movies / film and radio. It's the monster because it's so big. When I think of wild monsters, I think of these wild things. You guys remember this book? Maybe somebody read it to you when you were a child. Where the Wild Things Are. And that little boy over on the left is named Max. TV is the monster. But the monster, there's so many things going on with television, right? Everyone's streaming, no more appointment viewing except for sports, or very little appointment viewing. There's some shows that still dole out the content week by week, but so many now, ever since House of Cards on Netflix, they've been dumping all the episodes for at least the first year at the same time. So television has been entirely ad supported for the most part, other than some pay cable channels and pay events. But that has been changing recently with the new subscription TV, kind of led by Netflix, and there are no ads on subscription TV. What are the advertisers going to do? Is it TV when it moves to another device, or is it video? There are ways to skip ads, right, with TiVo and DVRs. More and more companies are creating content and just offering it online, like on YouTube. More devices showing video. There's industry consolidation within television. Disney's buying up everything. They bought up Fox TV and all their TV properties, and Fox kept the News Corp, which owns Fox, kept sports and Fox News. But more and more consolidation there among ownership. Clutter, lots of ads. There are digital place-based media, which we never really talked too much about. Place-based media, this is out-of-home media, ads that are sort of out and about as you go about your day, whether they're on a bus or a taxi or a bus shelter or a billboard you pass in your car. It's an ad inside of a subway, and more of these type of ads are digital signage, okay, which can actually in some cases run content in addition to just ads. And these people who have these kind of media properties are trying to take dollars from local TV. Of course, the virus had an impact. Okay, in fact, all sports, including the Olympics, were canceled at the start of COVID. There's a new creative format that we talked about in our last class on film, which is the streaming video series, which has very high production values, but it tells a much larger, broader story than just a 2-hour film can do. And this is running on TV. It's not running in theaters. Okay, so for all these reasons and more, television is in flux. So the theme that we have then is TV equals the monster in flux. Sounds sort of gross. So here's our agenda for talking about TV. We're going to consult Marshall McLuhan a little bit, talk about the technology, how it arose from radio, and then we'll talk about programming, content. We'll talk about the business, we'll sum up, and then we'll see about the future. So TV. Those two are TVs, so was this. This person's watching Hulu. It looks like there's NBC up, which produced The Office. Someone's watching it on their cell phone, on an Android. And of course, we know that our at-home TVs look like this these days. This is a Roku TV, which is cheaper than a regular TV because it's a smart TV and it can track your viewing habits and then actually sell the information to advertisers. So lots of things going on in what is TV. Origin of the word is tele, which is far away, like telegram, telegraph, and vision, which has to do with things seen. So it's things seen from far away is television. And this is the classical definition. As you can see, information, education, entertainment. Okay, so what is it? Movies plus radio equals TV, as I said before. I now want you to go to, that's Marshall McLuhan with his mustache. We saw him in line when he was a little older, talking to Woody Allen in the film Annie Hall a week or two ago. You may remember Marshall McLuhan, The Medium is the Message. There's a very interesting article here that I want you to read. So there's the link. I'm going to want you to hand in the 3 main points from this article. It's going to make you think about television and how it works on your brain. Okay, so we've always done that as we've discussed each medium. Does it engage your imagination, or exactly how does it transmit its messages to your brain? What's special about the medium? So read this article. You're going to write down 3 main points to hand in. I'm going to stop now and then pick up on the other